Hey, AlphaFam, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, of course, we're going to go over that green on the charts and, of course, the pump on the Bitcoin chart in particular, because that is what we were calling for over here at Alpha Commission. And if you were following our 4-hour volatility plays in the Discord, the link is in the description of this video below. Or if you were just following along, we were saying that there was a high likelihood of us getting this pump. Now, we did end up putting in a bit of an accumulation wedge here, broke back up into the alpha momentum pool, and we did have the volatility pivot underneath us in our favor on yesterday's several couple of 4-hour charts that we were looking at, both on the videos and in the discussion forums. But guys, I do have the update for you, which does close in about 2 hours, so you will be able to see if we meet the threshold for the concepts that I have in mind. And what you can see is that we broke above the bearish control zone. We grabbed new momentum to the upside. We are in a general continuation to the upside on the 4-hour, and with those conditions being met and having been above the volatility pivot, which was previously lower, that did allow us to get just a pump. Now, the volatility pivot does rise with that, so we do have to maintain above 20,985 for this to continue to have the wind at our back and help us push even perhaps even more forward. And if we do, close above $21,088 on this Coinbase chart, then we should maintain the momentum that we've built up here without dropping. And if we do capture $21,355, which we currently are above, then bulls can even be in control on the 4-hour chart, and this could bleed over into the daily. Now, for the daily, of course, we do want to consider that the bullish control zone, of course, is much higher. And so for the daily chart, we're probably not going to see that same kind of pump just right away. We may have to wait into next week if there's any type of an opportunity like what we had on the 4-hour. But right now, off of that kind of accumulation at the bottom there, you do see that we did fulfill the measured move of that triangle, that accumulation wedge on the 4-hour. And so there is a chance that this thing could just fail from here and flop back over. But the fact that we're inside of this falling wedge tells me that probably we're going to hang on to this area, and this may have just been a fake out to the downside, or the fear of the banking system just changed some of the dynamics here. Now, if we do close again in 2 hours, we are going to be outside of the bearish control zone on the daily chart. We're looking at the day now, remember, guys, and we don't really enter that bullish control zone until 24,615, in which case we can start talking about higher levels, maybe even 28,000. But until then, really what we're looking for is 22,000. That kind of $23,000 area, 22 to 23 is what our next, that's what we'd be looking for next. And again, closing here above 21,355, we will add momentum to the upside. So that is a good look right now if we can hang on to these levels. Now, where does it start going wrong? Well, really under 21,256. That's going to bring us back into the daily bearish control zone, and it will also lose us the general daily continuation on the MACD. So we'll be basically sent back to the alpha momentum pool for indecision, where if we can hold at least 20,620, then we will be still okay, still with the volatility pivot down here. So let me just put that into some perspective. Let's say that the banking system is kind of crazy, and so we don't really break out of this area. Let me turn this color white here. and we end up just kind of dipping down, right? As long as we maintain above essentially $20,000, we still could have the opportunity to do a double bottom and make our way back up as the week progresses, okay? So really key here is $20,000 at this point, which we are significantly above. Guys, all of this looks pretty good. We do have a weekly closure coming in, and what you can see is, let me just turn this off and let's just take a look at it just from a weekly perspective. You can see that we are still in that area where we could potentially put in a higher low. Now, if we put on our EMAs on the weekly, you can see we're still under the weekly 200. We're still under the weekly 9. Not great places to be. We could continue to squeeze down with any type of bad news. So just be cautious here. Sometimes we do end up wicking up and then coming back down, right? You can see like this one, like we wicked up, and then we wicked up again, we wicked up again, right? Or we wicked down, we had a nice bounce up, and then we came crashing down, right? So we could, wick it down, and then we could bounce back up, and then we could come crashing down again. So this isn't a definitive thing, but that wick is a lot of buying pressure. And if we do get above 22,000 on the weekly close, which again also closes in 2 hours, that's going to be a really, really good look. Okay, so we're only about $500 away from that, depending on which exchange you're looking at. And so bulls are really trying to give a noble effort here. Okay, guys, and this looks pretty interesting so far. So we are going to continue to follow this. Again, guys, I just wasn't able to turn into a perma bear with the rest of you about USDC and with all of this FUD that was all up in the air. I know a lot of very real scary stuff is happening, but I did believe that that would actually help push Bitcoin up. That was the narrative that I was looking at, and in fact, that's how it played out. So the AlphaFam, congratulations, you guys are absolutely killing it. We're killing it over here at Alpha Commission, and I just want to thank you all for being part of this community and supporting this, show. Of course, it's not easy to make it on an almost a daily basis, but I do try to give you the alpha. Guys, those are going to be your key levels to watch out for. I think a lot of coins are looking pretty juicy at weekly supports, so please don't be a perma bear, don't be a perma bull, but just be a clever little alpha monkey, trade level to level, and don't forget to take your profits, because you never know when these things are going to turn around. And getting past that 200 EMA, that's a tough nut to crack. So there's no guarantee that that's going to happen on the next swipe up. And it could be a lot of sideways action depending on how things go in the traditional markets as well. There's an emergency meeting on today and tomorrow with the federal government and the Federal Reserve. And so they're going to try to figure out what they're going to do about the banking system issue. And then, of course, around Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to have that CPI data and the PPI data, which will influence how inflation is viewed by the Federal Reserve. All of this, in my opinion, is looking bullish for Bitcoin. But if something critical gets broken in all of this, then of course that could send us all to hell, because frankly, it's all interconnected anyway. So just to be open-minded and have your strategy for both directions. This is a very fragile point, both for Bitcoin and the traditional economy. Okay, guys, that's your alpha for the day. Stay safe and happy trading.